I have seen people speaking about Ezekiel Machogu, the new cabinet secretary for education who is succeeding CS George Magoha. And people think it's a new face, but then they are wrong. Everyone is wrong. If you think he's a new face, then you are wrong. Very wrong in this case. Ezekiel Machogu is probably the most experienced cabinet secretary out of the 23 cabinet secretaries that were named today by President William RUTO. I'm saying this because he has served under the leadership of all the presidents that have ruled in Kenya. He served under President Jomo Kenyatta, the first president. He served under President Moi. He served under President Kibaki. He served under President Uhuru, and now the biggest role under President William RUTO. Now, to understand how, you have to keep tuned. If you're not subscribed, you have to subscribe. If you're watching from a different platform, you have to run to YouTube, search for Kim Explains, and subscribe. Now, where was he born? He was born in Nyaribari Masaba constituency, and this is where he was raised. His education, he's a graduate of University of Nairobi, where he studied Bachelor of Arts between 1976 and 1979. Now, his career, this is where he joined politics, and this is where the aspect of him working with the government for over the longest period, if we have to consider age as a factor and experience in politics. Now, understand, in 1976, who was the president? It was President Jomo Kenyatta. He got a job as a DO. Now, the office of the DO was under the office of the president. So he served as a DO. And then after that, in 1989 to 2008. Now, 1989 was, remember, President Moi took over the leadership in 1978. So 1989, he was still the president. And so, this guy Ezekiel Machogu, or Ezekiel Ombati, was serving as a district officer. This is an office under the leadership of the president. It is under the presidency. Remember, when Moi was president, you could call even the headman. You tell him that there's a problem in a certain village, and he calls the headman or the chief, and he knew them by the name. So this is a man, as a district officer, you ought to be very close to the president. And remember, back then the district was as big as today's county. Tuendelee. Then from being a district commissioner between 2008 and 2016. Now, 2008, who was the president? It was President Kibaki. And 2008 was still President Kibaki. Now, between 2008 and 2016, tushafika 2016, Kibaki has already retired in 2013, and President Uhuru has already taken over. Between this period, he was working in the office of the Public Service Commission as a senior deputy secretary. So he was a senior deputy secretary in PSC, and under President Kibaki's government and President Uhuru's government. Now, President Uhuru's government had both Uhuru and RUTO. And now, in 2022, he was vying for the governorship of Kisii County, and he lost. And now, after President RUTO has taken over, he has been rewarded with the cabinet secretary for education to take over after Magoha. Do you think this is a new face? Ama ni wewe hujui politics? If you're still watching, then it means you have enjoyed the show. So please subscribe, leave a comment, and probably share. Alafu pia usisahau kuacha hiyo like.